I have been selling this book, Zan Azli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking, which is published by MPH for a while now. It's a really good book if you want to be a filmmaker, whether it's for YouTube, social media, TV, film, cinema, whatever. This is the book to get. I'm going to make it more accessible and more affordable to all of you because I believe that everybody needs to become a filmmaker. The more filmmakers we have in the world, I think this world will be a better place to live in. Now it's available as an electronic book download on my website. I'm going to link it here. It's really cheap, it's really affordable. It's only 5 ringgit if you want to get the ebook version. Okay, 5 ringgit. It doesn't really cost much, right? It's just a little bit of something for me. I mean, it did take a lot of work to write. Each chapter of this book talks about one part of the filmmaking process. And for each chapter as well, I interview a local filmmaker. It's only 5 ringgit. It's only 5 ringgit. Okay, you're watching and listening to the Bidin Film Club, and I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm Joy Mustawan.
And as usual, every week we watch a local film and we review it.
Yes.
This week we've been invited to watch a special screening of Mat Kilau.
Yes.
Mat Kilau, Syamsul Yusof's Mat Kilau. I'm wondering if you're going to get coffee. You think he'll buy me coffee at the screening? No?
You maybe can buy him.
I'll buy him coffee. Well, right now there's a meet and greet at the back. You know, the actors, you know.
Yeah, it's full of people.
So this is so full of people wearing tanjas. Okay, alright. Okay, we watched
Mat Kilau.
We watched Mat Kilau. It was a special screening. And
It was a premiere screening.
The premiere was last week.
No, yesterday was the premiere. Last week was the gala.
Oh, I see. So we were invited by Zaf from Zavlog under his ticket. Yeah, thanks. Because who are we, right? we will never be invited to minum kopi.
We were invited to minum kopi.
Oh, we were invited to minum kopi, but never invited to watch a film.
to galas lah. No, it's not a thing.
It was nice. There was a meet and greet session. The cast were there.
A lot of people in Tanja.
A lot of people came in tanjats and baju Melayu and sampin and chapals and I don't know. You know, I'm like. You know how when Star Wars fans they go and watch Star Wars and they dress up like Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And they wear a Star Wars t-shirt.
Yeah, R3D3 and all that, and then they bring lightsabers and all that.
H1N1.
I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm not doing that. So I'm not going to be dressing up in a tanja and sampin and all that to watch Mat Kilau. Okay?
Yeah, and also here's a PSA. It turns out when you go and watch a movie in the cinema and you have a tanja, the person behind you can't really see a quarter of the screen. Speaking from experience.
Yeah, so I mean, it's fine. They want to go dress up and watch a movie. It's totally fine. Doesn't mean I don't have to be annoyed lah. It's like wearing your favorite band's t-shirt when you go and watch the concert. you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you don't go watch Weezer and wear a Weezer t-shirt.
Yeah, you wear a Foo Fighters t-shirt.
No. You try to avoid wearing any rock band t-shirts also if you go to a rock show, okay?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, no. You gotta be cool, you gotta be chill, you gotta...
Okay, we're not here.
They don't know how to do all this, chill stuff.
Okay. Anyway.
Then there's no chill.
There is no chill.
Yeah. So anyway, we watched the film, Mat Kilau. Look, I'm a big fan of historical heroes, right? Like Hang Tuah. Hey, real or not, we don't know, but we desperately need it to be real. But Mat Kilau.
M. Nasir is very real, okay? What are you talking about? He's a real person.
He's a real person, yes. M. Nasir, yeah. What's the song? I forgot
that
song.
M. Nasir song.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not here to talk about M. Nasir. We're here to talk about The historical heroes. Okay, but we're here to talk about Mat Kilau.
Yeah, I like Mat Kilau. I mean, I grew up learning about his story, you know, where he fought the British against colonialism and all that. Then he disappeared. No, the interesting story about Mat Kilau is that he disappeared after a couple of years fighting the British. A lot of people thought he died. Or he got disappeared, you know, like from the colonialists lah, right? But then he turns up in the 70s or 60s. And he's really old. He's staying in Kuantan, Jalan Gambang. and it's him. He's changed his name, you know, several times. So it's like as if he kind of ran away lah. You want to get caught or whatever. So they discovered him as an old man. The Pahang state government actually formed a committee to find out if that's really him. And yeah, they confirmed that it's him. And he died. I think he died in early 70s. His hardcore fans say he died at the age of 122 years old. But realistically, they say he died around 405 years old. Yeah. And see, the biggest story about Mat Kilau is that he's got ilmu kebal, you know, like, take a Chris, cucuk, the Chris bands, you know, shoot. The British shoots their rifle, boom, pew, pew, it just bounces off his chest, you know, it's like Superman, faster than a speeding bullet.
Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that this film is not about Mat Kilau. It is just inspired by Mat Kilau.
It's about Mat Kilau. There's all the characters are there. Mat Kilau, Dato' Bahaman, all Tok Gajah, all are there. Right? But
it's just inspired by.
It's not his.
It's not a biopic, okay?
Yeah, it's not a biopic. It's inspired by his story lah. Okay, so what is it about? Oh, you just said it.
No, we said it's not about Mat Kilau. Basically, what it's about
is... It's a fictional portrayal.
Are you ready? Yes. It's basically about...
Don't review the film, right? Are you reviewing the film now, straight, or are you going to tell the story first?
No, I'm telling them what it's about.
Okay. Here you go.
It's about bad white people who have brown people who are not Malay people, you know, the other brown people, as their underlings. And one Chinese tali barut against every single Malay person in Pahang. That's what the film is about.
And then in the movie also, right? There doesn't seem to be a lot of Malays in Pahang.
And the white people don't really seem very white also. Let's not talk about that. In a nutshell, that's what this film is about. And at the end of the day, all you need to know is if you are Malay and Muslim, you will prevail.
Yeah.
And you must hang on to that for dear life, because without Islam, you are nothing. And all your, he says it even, your culture, your language, your budaya, all of this means nothing without your religion.
Yeah.
So that's what the film is about lah.
Yeah, so Mat Kilau has a bunch of friends. They practice silat, like the real Mat Kilau story.
Yeah.
Practice silat under his father, Tok Gajah, and of course, the British are trying to gain ground in Malaya, you know, going to the East Coast and all that. So the Malay sultans are all like already in cahoots with the British lah, because the British said, okay, we'll keep you in power, but you got to let us do whatever we want. So there's this group of
Raja Melayu.
These lords lah, right? Bangsawan Melayu, right? Who feel like cannot. So they picked Mat Kilau to be like a leader of a rebellion lah, basically. So this Mat Kilau go lah.
He's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. So now, shall we talk about the review of the film now? It has some great actors in it, right?
Yes.
It's got Bito Kushairi.
It's got Dato' Adiputra as Mat Kilau.
There's so many Datos, okay, in this movie. There's Dato' Adiputra, there's Dato' Jalaluddin Hassan, there's Dato' Rahim Razali. So many Datos.
So all some Datos are in this film, but the one that plays Mat Kilau is Dato' Adiputra, who is like, yes, he could get it.
He could?
He could. But
really?
Not as much as Bito Kushairi could get it.
Yeah, because yes. I see Adiputra as...
Oh.
You know he plays Mat Kilau, right? But the entire film, he's just running like a buffalo.
What?
Did you notice? Every shot he's running like a buffalo. No, I'm going to attack the British. He's like a buffalo. He's got no neck.
No. He thinks, okay? And he does it gently.
Yeah, then after he thinks, he runs like a buffalo. Every fight scene, he's running like a buffalo. And then I think there were scenes where he's even running faster than the bullet. When he overtakes the bullet. Got that? He's just running like a buffalo, attacking all the British people. I don't know, man. Okay.
I don't remember so much running lah.
Yeah.
I felt like he stood still quite a bit. But anyway, so it's like quite a pretty solid lineup of people. It's got Dato' Adi Putra. It's got so the Mat Kilau bros are like Dato' Adi Putra is Mat Kilau. His father Tok Gajah is Wan Hanafisu. And then his best bro is Bito Kushairi. His character's name is Wahid. And then his brother Awang is played by Fatah Amin, who surprisingly looks really good with long hair. Wow.
Fatah Amin
Yes.
always looks good. It's always look
No,
good.
but we didn't like Fatah Amin in the last thing Fatah Amin did. But anyway, that's not the point. Anyway, everybody looks great lah in this film, and like some other bros also. Kir Rahman is in it at some point as well. Yeah. So it's got a nice cast lineup, whom I must say also acted really well. All of them, I felt. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Look. Technically, it's a great film. Syamsul Yusof knows what he's doing, right? Nice shots.
It's a blockbuster film.
It's a blockbuster film. It's great. You know, it's tight. It's got good shots, edited nicely. It's directed well. Written quite okay also. You've got a story arc there. You know. And so it's not like we're going to criticize his bad filmmaking, but I just didn't like the story and the ideology behind it. Right?
Yeah.
So it's quite bad in that sense.
Okay, yeah. So everything that you want in a great film is there, but and I guess you could say this is a personal opinion. The messaging and the story and the ideology behind the entire film is not great. And actually, I felt as a film that's supposed to be inspired by or centered around a historical hero, that was quite exciting for me. And because you don't get a lot of those, right? I mean, what was the last one? I'm Nasi is Hang Tuah. No! Putri Gudang Ledang! Which also was like quite a while ago, actually. I guess so. It was something to look forward to lah. But then it was done like this. Basically what they've done is they've used a historical figure to reinforce a fairly extremist, homogenous ideology of, using violence as a means of getting your way lah. And they rationalize it by saying, the British were oppressing the Malays, the British are cruel, but the British are very two-dimensional in this film. They memang were just there to serve the purpose of the villain. There was no other like arc to them at all. But it's also the same for the Malays in the film.
Everybody is
purpose.
two-dimensional.
Yeah, there's no purpose to them other than to stand up for their religion. Not even their culture or their race or their people. It's just all about standing up for your religion, all about hanging on to your faith.
For Bangsa God.
But at the end he already said, it doesn't matter, okay? What matters is your religion.
If you hold on to Islam,
you hold on
have
to your
everything.
religion, you will be the best version of Melayu that you can be. So, it was very clear what the film was trying to tell us lah. But we were not particular fans of the ideology lah. In a time where you're supposed to be, diverse and multicultural. There are so many other ways to do biopics about warriors.
It's not a biopic.
To do stories about historical figures that fight against oppressions. Take for example Iman, right? Sure, Iman is also Chinese propaganda in some way, or Hong Kong propaganda in some way, but it's also a film that subtly tells you that you shouldn't go up against the Chinese. But Iman's character is not a character that is constantly harping on that, number one. Number two,
He doesn't run like a buffalo.
He doesn't run. He doesn't really run at all. Iman just stands still most of the time. Iman fights all oppressors. He even fights his fellow Chinese. Like in the very first Iman, he's fighting against the labor for labor rights or whatever, right? And then after that, he fights the Japanese, and then eventually he fights the white people. So it shows that you're supposed to defend yourself against all types of oppression. That kind of messaging I can get with. This type of messaging was just very clear that you should fight the oppression that infringes on your Malayness or your Muslimness. And it just kept talking about that over and over and over again. And in this day and age, right, with this kind of tensions already so much in place in society, is this really the kind of messaging that we want to be putting out to people? Why are we enabling the racists? Why are we enabling the extremists? Why are we telling them that what they're doing is okay? Maybe that wasn't the intention, but that was definitely the message that this movie sends out lah. So I wasn't so cool with that lah.
Yeah, you said it already.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
I thought you had.
No,
things
I didn't like the movie. It's grossly racist, right? It's so racist. I know that it's okay to, to be proud of your heritage, of your ethnicity, of your race, even of your religion, right? It's okay to be proud of all of that. But when you make a film like this film just portrays, it just reeks of superiority, feeling that your race is the only good one, the best one, your religion is the best one, right? And everybody else is bad, right? Any other religion or race is just inferior to you lah, and that is what this film, it feels like that, it feels like that. I like, for example, if we watch movies like you said, like Iman, right? You watch Iman, yeah, you feel this nationalistic pride, even though you're not Chinese, I'm not from China, I'm not from Hong Kong or whatever, right? But I feel this pride of wanting to stand up for what is right, But when I watch Mat Kilau, I'm like, holy crap! I cringe. You cringe because every 5 minutes there is a line by any one of the characters saying, kita kena lawan untuk bangsa dan agama. Kita kena pertahankan bangsa dan agama. There's a scene where Bito Kushairi, Wahid, has a pregnant wife who is begging him not to go and fight because she needs him at home. He leaves her and says, saya, my priority, right, adalah, yang keutamaan adalah bangsa dan agama. And then the wife is like, saya macam mana? Anak macam mana? Saya akan makan bila balik nanti. And he leaves the house. And the wife cries.
Yeah.
The wife is saying, look, prioritize lah. Actually, right, all the characters in this film were all so single, one-dimensional, except for maybe Bito Kushairi's wife, right? Because she portrayed that fact that her character is like, she's the only one.
Quite sensible lah. She's hello, I'm pregnant. I need my husband. Okay,
yeah.
Carry on.
She's the only one that feels like, yeah, okay, you want to fight for your country, your land and all that, right? But there is an immediate priority here, right? An immediate priority, which is your wife and your child, right? What do you do then? Shouldn't there be a conflict there? But all these characters have no conflict of that sort, right? They're like pure one-dimensional lah. They've only got like one purpose in their entire life, right? And then she dies. I don't care. I don't like the movie, so I'm going to spoil it, right? She dies. Wahid is heartbroken, and now he feels bad. But while the wife is dying, the wife can suddenly change her okay, now fight for your people lah. Fight for your people. Suddenly change already. If I were the wife, I'm like, fuck you. You left me. Now your son is dead. Your baby is dead. Son or daughter or whoever. I'm gonna die. Go lah. You got what you want, right? Now you don't even have us. Go fight for your country. Go fight for your people. Go fight for your bangsa dan agama. No family already, right? No ties. Yay, freedom. Right? Do whatever you want. Yeah. I cannot understand that.
I was 100% there for all of the close-ups of Bito Kushairi's face, though, I have to say.
Yeah, but it was
great.
It was just so... It was terrible, right? None of the characters had any conflict in them. They were not humans, basically. Except for that...
Kir Rahman's character had a conflict like that, which they addressed at the beginning.
And then he joins the fight anyway.
Yeah, and then he has this old father lah, basically, that he's taking care of, and he says, look,
I can't join your rebellion.
Do it.
Right?
Okay, because I have other priorities. And they're saying, if you don't join it, they're going to come for you anyway. And he's like, well, we need to think about like us. And anyway, the Malays are, but he was also kind of used as a propaganda tool because he was saying things like, well, the Malays are not united anyway, and unless you can get the Malays to unite, there's no point to all of this. And so then later on he comes and joins the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But that's the thing, you see. Mat Kilau and his friends, his father, and all these bangsawan Melayu in the show, in the film, there's no other way. They're so judgmental. It's their way or no way. It's their way or the highway lah. Basically, you're with me or you're not with me, right? If you look in society, right, everybody has different context, background, and everything. Everybody has different demons lah that they have to deal with, right? Some people need to take care of their families. Some people need to do so. Not everybody can pick up arms and go fight the colonialists, right? So everybody play their role lah. Don't be so judgmental lah, Mat Kilau, in this movie.
Which is why they pick you in the first place,
yeah,
you know.
you are supposed to be the leader, right?
You were supposed to do it.
You are the one that was trained in Silat and all that.
And supposed to be like
right?
so
And some admiral, so terror like that. You go do it lah. And then you want to persuade the kampung folk to come and help you, right? Now the kampung folk is like, we cannot. What are we going to do? They're going to kill us.
Oh, we're scared.
You go to, now then you get angry. You get angry that normal, ordinary kampung folks are scared? What the heck?
And then the way he was talking to them wasn't even like a slow talk also. He was just like, you have to do it because if not, you're not Malay or Muslim.
Yeah. I'm going to make a comparison with Bukit Kepong by Jin Shamsuddin.
Oh my god.
Bukit Kepong, see, the kampung folk in the end comes out and rise up and helps the police, right?
But
to fight the communists. But they were still scared, right? And they still did it. And there's no way in that show where the police actually went to the people, you got to help us, if not you're lousy. You're not a Muslim if you don't help us. Yeah, this Mat Kilau and his gang is like, these are the pahlawan, It's supposed to be pahlawan in the story. And then they're like, oh, you don't help us. They got angry with the orang kampung who they are supposed to be defending.
Can be sarcastic.
And then so sarcastic with them some more. A bit holier than thou, Yeah. And then they talk about Malays not being united lah and all that. Okay, fine, I get it. You're trying to relate it to current affairs. You're social critiquing. Oh, in your film.
Wow.
But think about it. We are in, like what you said just now, right? We are in an environment and in a society where we're trying to very hard to promote multiculturalism.
Well, we are trying very hard to promote
as much as possible.
As much as possible.
Yeah, as much as possible. We don't want to have any racial tensions and fine. You want to make a film. I don't know. I guess you have a right to make a film like that. But think about the society where you're releasing the film in, right? Don't you have a responsibility to society? Look, Syamsul Yusof is a great blockbuster film director. He's got this golden touch, magic touch, where the Midas touch. Any film he makes is like breaking box office records, right? Which is great for him. But don't you think that when you have that power, you also have a responsibility? I don't know. I don't know the filmmakers personally or well at all, right? But maybe this is not their intention. Maybe it's not his intention to promote a very extremist point of view. He just wanted to show like pride in Malay pride and all that, which is fine. But maybe the way it was done didn't portray that lah. Yeah.
Coming to that though, Syamsul Yusof has always made radical extremist films.
That's true.
In blockbusters. So this is actually no different from all the other things
Yeah, you're
that he's
right.
done.
No different.
His messaging throughout has been very consistent. Be super Islamic in the most actually quite un-Islamic way lah, if you think about it lah, okay? But it's like he has a very specific brand of Islam that he pushes in all his films. Very fire and brimstone, very all or nothing, very like berjihad, in only that specific way that he's always promoted in every single film. Munafik 2, and now this. It's very rare, other than the action-packed ones, that it's not a film that's extreme lah, I felt.
Yeah.
And the ideology and the messaging is actually very consistent of a Syamsul Yusof film. I was hoping that it wouldn't be like that. So yes, I saw that it was a Syamsul Yusof film. I saw that the end credits were actually the same as the Munafik end credits. Wow. But I was hoping that because it was about Mat Kilau and it was about a Malay warrior in the 1800s, that it wouldn't come out so like that. And that was what was greatly disappointing lah. The potential of it to have been a really good film overall was so strong, and parts of it are actually really good. I personally like the shots and everything, and the way that it was directed. It was actually quite tight. There was like some fight scenes that were maybe a little too long, and the dialogue was very, very tiresome throughout. But the messaging and the ideology is something that memang I can never get behind lah. I think he does feel a responsibility to the audience that he makes these films for. But the problem with it is that the audience that he makes this film for is not Malaysia. It is a subset of a Malay Muslim community. And that's it.
But here's a conflict that I have. I think he has a right to do it.
Yeah.
You know, he can make this film however he wants, and he makes it because of however he grew up or whatever his perspective is, and he has a right to do it, right? So this film can be out in the cinemas, but when it is out in the cinemas, there needs to also be consequences, and well, not consequences, but you need to have people debate it lah.
Yeah.
You know, you're putting out an ideology there. And you can't say that, okay, this ideology is the only ideology out there. You're allowed to put your ideology out, but you've got to accept other people giving different thoughts and opinions about it too. You know? Yeah.
And then here is my problem with the film industry as a whole lah. We only really ever push out or promote these kinds of messaging. These are the ones that get the Midas touch, the blockbuster hits, whatever. The big promotions and the funding to even make these films. But when it comes to making a film that doesn't adhere to the majority ideology, we ban it, we limit the screenings. It doesn't matter if it's a good story or not. We don't really give them the same amount of push. So it's not equal, you know. Sure, Syamsul Yusof has the right to produce this film, and
but everybody should have a right to
but
produce.
everybody should have the same equal right.
Yeah.
The thing about it is that Syamsul Yusof lives in a cloud of privilege where he can make this film, and the film itself already comes out bloated with privilege, marketing. They're on a tour right now. And other films that could be equally good in story don't get that same push, and thus they drown lah or fall away lah.
Yeah. But I have to say, there are mainstream movies that kind of get that push too, and they're blockbusters too, like Police Evo. Police Evo is blockbuster, but they've got a good messaging. They've got a very peaceful, non-extremist, almost multicultural ideology behind it, and then that gets a mainstream push too, right?
But you get like one Police Evo in like 5-10 years, and you get a Syamsul Yusof film more often than that.
Yeah, so maybe what needs to happen is people with this alternate ideology to be more active, make more mainstream films rather than just concentrating on making art house films. You know, I mean, be honest, right? You want the mainstream audience to accept your film, but then you're making it in an art house style. Also a little bit delusional lah. You know, I want it to be blockbuster hit. And then you have like a 5-minute long shot of a guy smoking at the window. You know, tak boleh also, right? So you have to get that balance lah. You know, you have to get that balance.
And all films need to have equal opportunity lah, basically. I mean, there's supposed to be a 2-week wajib tayang, which, yes, there is a 2-week wajib tayang, but the thing is, the way that they space out the screenings is very interesting. So yes, technically it screens for two weeks, but in the last week there's only like 2 cinemas showing it, for example,
at 11 o'clock in the morning.
So it needs to have equal opportunity. All these films need to have it. Just basically overall, the industry needs to be better if all narratives are going to be heard equally. And right now it's not, which is why Mat Kilau is frustrating to me, because this is going to be heard really well and going to be received really well by the subset that it's for. But then what happens to everybody else?
It's already beating Jurassic World. It just got released, this week.
Yeah, it's not hard to beat Jurassic World.
Jurassic World was horrible.
Yeah. So, there you go. So now, will you tell people to go watch it?
No. I would tell people not to go and watch it. But if you wanna bang on the film, go watch it lah. Then you got something to bang. You got a basis to.
Well, you know what? I would actually tell people to go watch it. Even if you don't agree with the ideologies and the messaging, we've told you already now that this is what it is. You should still go watch it and decide for yourself. Is it really as radical as we've said it is? Is it really as tiresome? And if you're Chinese or Indian, don't go and watch it and get angry lah, because I've already told you already, you are not represented in this film well or at all. So you have to go and watch it basically knowing already that these are the things that you're going to encounter. So if you can get past all of that, then go watch it. If you're going to go watch it and come out bitching about all of these same things, then don't waste your time lah. So yeah. And yes, also go watch it because Vito Kushari is in it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Look, now let's wrap it up with the good stuff about the film. It's done really well.
We said that just now at the beginning.
It's done very well. Good performances, dialogue not so good. Beautiful set, you know. The way it's shot is nice. Good directing, you know. Good editing. It's nice.
Oh! I wanted to commend Syamsul Yusof for not starring in it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Thank
so
you
I
for
felt
not starring in it.
I felt like it was kind of a growth because he usually is the star of these
Of his films,
he literally is the star that drives home all of this messaging, but this time he wasn't in the film at all, and I think because of that I really enjoyed the film, and I thought he had a really good lineup of people also, and for a film that is preaching Islamic values and everything, it's so homoerotic, you guys. That also I really liked. Like, the men were really not afraid to, like,
hug each other, touch each other, cry with each other.
Cry, and, like, at the end, there's even a scene where Adi Putra is carrying Vito Kushari, and it's just so, like, wow. It was a lot.
They cry for each other, you know, when they you know, when they die or whatever, when they fight and all that, they're crying. And
it's like some hyped up bromance on steroids, but with tanjas and baju Melayus and just so much, like, mengucaps and tears.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, yeah.
You count the entire film, right? The many times the kalimah shahadah is stated, right? It's mentioned, right? Phew! Wow, so much.
Everyone on that film set is a born again Muslim lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it, I guess.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Like this video.
Don't like it.
this video.
But do let us know what you think.
No, I was gonna say like this movie. Don't like this movie.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms at FatBidin, or go to fatbidin.com to get everything. You've been watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club. Yeah, and I'm assuming I'm Zanazli.
And I'm Shirley Rusawan.